Greg Heffley, I am here to judge your crimes against Raleigh Jefferson, your family, and the town of Plainview. Alright, where to begin? I have a really weird obsession with Dante's Inferno. And by weird obsession, I mean I read it once and did a whole photo shoot concept around it. So obviously I think I'm qualified to judge which circle of hell Greg Heffley is going to. To be clear, I am not qualified, but I am gay. And because I am gay, I can do anything I put my mind to. Because he is evil, just like his father. The apple does not fall far from the tree. The crimes that this little kid commits are so egregious, they're pitiful, they're disgusting, and I'm really excited. Yeah, I have this little bit where I talk about when I was a little kid watching movies, and I'm like, yay, the pretty colors. Like, I was just happy that there was something on the screen. But when I look back at this little kid, he is the embodiment of mischief, slander, and greed. So let's get started. First, we have to talk about the sections of hell. If you haven't read Dante's Inferno, I highly recommend it. It's basically Dante gets led through hell by Virgil, who's low-key his man crush because Virgil was like a really famous poet back then, Dante's biggest inspiration. The deeper you go into hell, the more serious your sins are and the worse
electric chair,
like the worse your punishment is. There's 9 circles in total, so I'm just gonna go through them. 1 is limbo, for the people that didn't really make a choice when they were alive if they believed in God. They were like, I don't know. 2 is lust, but since Greg is a literal child,
that's eyelashes, blank stare.
I'm gonna take this as like any strong desire. Number 3 is gluttony, which is overconsumption. 4 is greed, which has to do with, hoarding or squandering money in some way. I'm gonna take this as like kind of like a selfish desire for success for Greg. Number 5 is wrath, which is anger of any kind. Number 6 is heresy, which is rejecting religion in any way, but since little Greg only believes in himself, like I don't think he's religious or his family is religious in any way, I'm going to take this as anything that he does that goes against the 10 Commandments. Number 7 is split into 3 sections, but they all have to do with violent crime in some way, and you'd think that this little 12-year-old has no crimes on his belt, but let me tell you, he does. Circle number 8 is split into 10 sections. All of the sections having to do with fraud in some way, shape, or form. But little Greg Heffley, he's a liar, and notoriously. But as for the cowardly, the faithless, the detestable, as for murderers, the sexually immoral, sorcerers, idolaters, and all liars, their portion will be in the lake that burns with fire and sulfur, which is the second death. Liars burn in hell. So that's what I'm going to take fraud as. And then number 9 is treachery, for the betrayers out there. And I don't know if you know the plot, but I think you know where this is going. Circle number 1 is limbo, and the punishment is that you just live forever and you don't get to go to heaven. I guess you can take that as a punishment or low-key a flex, because you're not really getting punished, you just have to exist, which is a punishment in itself, I guess. But Greg and his family don't really believe in God, so I guess all of them are going to the first layer. I don't know. And I know it's not really that bad of a punishment, but it's still hell, so hell for all of you. Alright, number 2 is lust, and
what the fuck is that?
They just started shredding trees outside. Is that real? Now, circle number 2 is lust. We're viewing this as any strong desire, you sickos. He's 12. The punishment for the sin of lust is being blown around by a wind. Kind of underwhelming because, this is hell. It's supposed to be endless punishment. Greg has two things here, so he will land in this one as well. Greg's hamartia, his hero's flaw, if you want to call him a hero, that little devil. His flaw is that he wants to be famous one day. He says this at the very beginning when he's talking about his diary. He's like, why do I have a diary? It's because one day I'm going to be famous and everybody's going to want to read what I was doing as a little kid. Bitch, nobody gives a fuck. Nobody give a fuck. Sorry. This lust for fame drives every single action that he takes and fuels him to commit further sins. So it's kind of fitting that lust is number 2 because it drives you to do everything else on this scale of sin, if you will. I've also grouped in his obsession with popularity. It's just a strange desire. He has cataloged everybody in his grade into a scale of popularity. It's like a 1 to 216. You know what? He might just have OCD.
Oh, just got diagnosed.
And that's okay, but you can't blame your actions on your mental illness. Everybody knows that. I fear the spirit of greed and glutton
Has latched onto this one as well.
at the top of the movie, pours the entire cereal box into his mouth. And milk. I'm assuming it's 2% milk, you nasty bitch. It's literally within 1 minute of the movie. Within 1 minute. He's just so disgusting. I'm so sorry. He also imagines eating ice cream by the pool when he's 35. While imagining his bullies are his servant staff. Like I said, this is a strange, evil little man. And then again, later, when he wants to move up a weight class in wrestling, he starts piling on the mashed potatoes on his plate, and it's disgusting. It's disgusting. You're 12 years old, and you're trying to get in your macros? What the fuck? For this, he will be sitting in the goop of the third layer. I don't know. He describes it as this goop created by a freezing rain. Have fun, dude. Greed. His hoarding of the candy is going to land him here. I hope he enjoys rolling around boulders with his chest while jousting other people. Yeah. I hope you enjoy that, Greg. Greg has a lot of anger in his body. I think he needs to see a therapist for his OCD first and foremost, but then he needs to get a handle on his anger issues. In the movie, he only really does one thing that lands him in this category, but it's pretty bad. He gets mad that Roderick, his older brother, has shown his mom the mother-daughter dance flyer that he threw away. God forbid you show your mother a good time, you ungrateful little excuse me. As revenge for this, he takes Roderick's skimpy motorcycle women's magazine. He plants it in Roderick's backpack with a candy bar, telling his younger brother, that's a baby, Manny, "Hey Manny, I put a candy bar in Roderick's backpack." No. Sorry. The camera battery died. How typical is that? "Hey Manny, I'm putting this candy bar in Roderick's backpack. Don't go in the backpack." He knows Manny is gonna go in the backpack. Inevitably, Manny goes. Gets it. Roderick gets in trouble. Grounded for 4 weeks. That's 1 month. And his car keys get taken away. So your older brother likes to jork it. Girl, everyone do. Okay. For this, Greg Heffley, you are sentenced to fist fight on the shore of a river and then drown in said river for eternity, young man. Number 6, heresy. These are crimes against God. He wants to be an idol so bad. "You shall not make for yourself a carved image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth." He wants to be an idol so bad, and God says, no. Leave it to BTS. Leave it to Luna. Do I want to be famous too? Well, yes. You don't have the qualifications, Greg Heffley. Gregory. Into a flaming tomb you go. Bye. Number 7 is split into 3 sections. We have violence against neighbors, violence against yourself, and violence against God, art, or nature. Mainly, Greg's crimes are against his fucking neighbors. He's a 12-year-old, by the way. Like, I don't think any 12-year-olds should have this many criminal accounts against him. The punishment for crimes against your neighbor is you go into a boiling river of blood. So I hope he likes that. I'm going to list these. We have destruction of property when he scratches a truck with a weed eater. Cool. Negligence and personal injury. He throws a football at Rowley to catch it on a tricycle, and Rowley breaks his arm. Yeah, you're going to jail. Or should I say the boiling river of blood? Reckless endangerment. He puts a bunch of kindergartners in a hole while it's raining. Straight to prison, like damn. Assault and battery. Him and Rowley fight. It's pretty wimpy. Wink, wink. But it is a fight. So, breaking and entering. So, he doesn't break in, you know, he has a key, but he goes into his grandma's house without permission to hide from the people that are hunting him on Halloween. So, they're big kids. You know, everybody gets bullied when they're little, like, just take it on the chin. Hey, you could write a book about that, you know what I mean? And then aggravated assault against Patty. During the musical, during The Wizard of Oz, he starts throwing apples at her. Okay, Roderick was filming you. It's a humiliation ritual. You're 12. You're 12. Just take it on the chin, bro. Number 8 is pretty large. It's fraud. And there are 10 sections here. And then one of the subsections is split into 3 more subsections. Panderers and seducers, flatterers, simoniacs, or people that use the church to aggregate wealth. Not looking at anybody. Sorcerers, berators, or berators are basically like corrupt politicians, hypocrites, thieves, counselors of fraud, people that tell you to commit fraud. Yeah, you're going to hell too. Like, God did not forget about you. Dante didn't forget about you either. Sowers of discord and falsifiers. Mainly, he falls into the category of falsifying because, what did we say? Liars burn in hell. And it's funny because a lot of the punishments for falsification it can be anything. So I just decided to make him stinky because that's one of them. 1, he wears ankle weights to get into the bulldog class for wrestling. You tricked your gym teacher, so you are going to hell. He sows discord with his family by doing the thing with Roderick's magazine in the backpack. So for that, he's going to be chopped up by a demon. His soul will walk around with his chopped up body until it heals in an endless cycle. Chopped, heal, chopped, heal, chopped for eternity. That's what you deserve, Gregory. And he tells Mrs. Irvine he's Rowley in his little sweater when he puts the kids in the hole. He's the imposter. So extra stinkiness for this one, okay? You lying piece of... All right, last one. We have treachery. You know, Brutus, Judas, Lucifer, and Greg Heffley. Yeah, count Greg Heffley in that circle too, because he'll be stuck in ice for what he's done to so many people in this movie. Not just Rowley Jefferson, mind you. Literally at the beginning of the movie, he betrays Chirag, by leaving him during Gladiator. You betrayed him, like you're supposed to protect him from the big kids. Granted, they were shirtless. That was weird. You know, shirts and skins. I've never agreed with that in school, but you know, you abandoned your friend. I don't care if you had a shirt on. He throws Rowley under the bus to stay on the safety patrol, even though it was him that put the kids in the hole. And Rowley gets suspended just to get out of algebra. What a lame-o. Everybody knows that algebra is one of the best math. It's one of the easiest math courses before you start getting to pre-calculus. Serious. I'm not even joking. I loved algebra. Maybe that says a lot about me. He tells his mom he's not going to go to the north side for Halloween, and he does. He's so desperate to get Rowley's attention while him and Rowley have their friend breakup. You know, notoriously. Don't call me. Don't come by my house. We're done. You know, during that, he has a sleepover with Fregley. The hell? And he stops singing during The Wizard of Oz. You betrayed your castmates, bro. Everybody knows that that's a cardinal sin. It's a cardinal sin in the theater to betray your castmates. Serious. Although, let me tell you, straight theater men, they love to betray their castmates. They will cheat on every girl in that company without a second thought. So I'm not surprised at this. And let me tell you, he's not going to be famous for acting. For this, you're going to have to endure the freezing winds created by Miss Lucy Faye's wings. Yeah. So where is Greg Heffley landing? While I could argue he's going to the 8th circle for fraud and lying, he's definitely going to the 9th circle. Like, for real, you're going to be frozen in ice forever. And I'll never forgive him what he did to Rowley. That's just low down. Shout out to the women in this movie. They're all iconic. Susan for making Roderick apologize to women. Hashtag I'm sorry women. Yes. Theater teacher for reading Greg to filth for his singing voice. She says, what a lovely soprano voice you have. Read of the century. Rowley's mom, like the dance that they do together is so sweet. Genuinely, like that is the guy that I would have wanted to be friends with. Just unapologetically himself. And you know what? They try to redeem Greg, you know, at the end with him taking the blame for the cheese. And it doesn't work because, hey, they tried it with Chuck Bass. You think you're going to fall into the Chuck Bass effect by doing one nice thing? No. Just because you do one nice thing doesn't mean you are absolved of all your misdeeds, sir. And that's part of the reason I made this video, is that so nobody would forget how awful Greg Heffley is. Just some final thoughts here. He's also racist. Like, at the start of the movie, he says, if you're as discriminatory as I am. Oh.
I am disgusted.
What did he just say? Second, why is Manny ginger? I guess his mom and dad have recessive genes, but it's kind of strange because they both have dark hair. I don't know. Sometimes I don't understand white people, and that's okay. Chirag is usually used as a comedic punching bag, but he also gives Greg and Rowley valuable information about the cheese, setting up that final good deed, the one good deed that Greg does. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Last thing, I just want everybody to remember that Gregory Heffley, is one of the most evil children in all of fiction. That's all.